experiencing.
Yeah, I can translate it. He's asking one story from Mahabharata, that when Yudhishthir, his all four brothers dies, and then he meets one yaksha. He's like one kind of
God.
God. And then this yaksha asks Yudhishthir that if you answer my question, then I have the power to make your brothers alive. So the question asked by this yaksha was that what is that which all human beings are all the time forgets and goes again and again into making mistake and lives into that ignorance. What is that? What is that? That is the question.
Nice question.
Nice
It's the
question.
question of all.
All. Again and again, the human being goes back into the ignorance and repeats the same kind of mistake. Doesn't learn from this. So his question is, and the Yudhishthir answers, what is the answer?
He says this is the only mistake that human being
Ah.
not learn anything from his life.
So Yudhishthir says that the mistake is that the human beings are never learning anything from the mistakes that they commit. That is that thing which repeats again and again into the cycle of ignorance.
You couldn't get the experience.
So he is asking me that what is that experience and what is that learning from the experience and how we forget to learn from this experience or why we don't learn from the experience, isn't it? We never really go into the right experience. That is the first thing. Experience means when we really connect to the life. Really, life gives us some kind of sensation. Each sensation that we have through our senses is an experience. But we are never available to that experience by understanding what exactly is the sensation and what exactly is the outer event which creates the situation. We always impose our knowledge, our past knowledge, on that what is happening now. So we deprive of the experience and we repeat again the same misunderstanding that we carried before into the past. So we impose our misunderstandings rather to understand on that what is happening now. You understand what I am saying?
Impossible.
So this tendency of all the time recognizing the experience which is now happening through the frame of knowledge. And the frame of knowledge does not allow you to know into that right knowing of that what is. Each experience is a new experience. It is not a repetition of the past. But according to the looking from the frame of knowledge, we always think that it is similar, something same of the past. So when we understand the experience through the past frames or the frames of knowledge, we do not understand that event or that problem which is also new which demands your fresh new answer, fresh new understanding. So we repeat our own actions on the basis of our past knowledge and respond to the challenge or the problem now as if you have understood it and you are just responding to it. You understand what I am saying? So how can you learn from it? Learning is only possible when there is a knowing. When you are approaching to the problem through the knowledge, there is no learning, but only confirmation of whether it was similar as past or it was not similar. Either similar or not similar, but not something which exactly is happening. So we are not learning from the experience because we are not actually experiencing,
Not available.
not available to the experience. And to be available to the experience demands your freedom from the frame of knowledge, your approach from the past, your definitions, your justifications, your judgments. That we have to be free from. And normal human beings are living normally, unconsciously, on the basis of knowledge. So what they collect is the knowledge, not the knowing. So by responding to the event now, what you collect is some more knowledge. And what is that knowledge? Which is somewhere either nourishing to the knowledge that you already have or rejecting something which is already happening. And this is happening with almost everyone who are living with this unconsciousness. This is unconsciousness. And that is why we again and again repeat the mistakes, and we do not learn from the mistakes, and then we are caught into this whole game that life is all the time flowing with new events, new situations, new problems, demanding your new understanding, new answer, fresh response, but we are all repeating. So our life has become like a monotonous life, repeating of the same. From day, morning to the night, we are nothing but repeating of the yesterday. We just repeat yesterday. And tomorrow also, when it comes today, we are going to repeat the same monotony, with the same desire, same thing which is just going on.
Why do we do this? All of us. Why?
Because we have not understood actually what can make us free from this frame. Because this frame also is very natural process. The frame is the information, the frame of information. But from the information, problem is we are not available, but we remain identified with the information. We do not get detached from the information. You become one with the information. That is the knowledge. You become one with the knowledge. And that becoming one with the knowledge does not allow you to see what exactly is now. So the freedom from this attachment that is naturally happening, because you need to understand the situation. You understand what I say? And the first understanding comes through the knowledge, through the information. The sensation which is coming and the information which is coming from the area of knowledge, from the past recollection there, gives you an information that it is painful, it is joyful, or it is just neutral. And also gives you the understanding through the information that what exactly is creating this kind of sensation. The moment we understand this, there is again immediately a choice that we offer whether I like it or I don't like it, whether I want it or I don't want it. This also is natural because it has a memory of the past experience that if it is a painful experience, painful sensation, you don't like it. If it is joyful, you like it, you want it. So this is also a part of this past memories. So this is also naturally happening. What we have misunderstood is that from that we go back to this whole knowledge area what to do with this. You see, whether it is accepted or not accepted, whether it is to be dealt with or not to deal with. Then you go back to the attachment in finding out the answer, the solution to the problem now. Krishnamurti says that the state inside should be choiceless awareness. The choice is natural, but the state of choiceless awareness also has to be natural. You see, and this is where we have not understood this whole phenomena there. How this can happen naturally, how you can detach yourself from that identification which naturally happened. The sensation, when it happens, it activates the brain immediately. That is a natural process. When the sensation happens, it activates the brain, and the activation of brain immediately starts supplying the right information to understand the sensation. How do you understand that it is painful or joyful? The people who have dead brain or gone into coma, they do not understand whether it is painful or joyful. Sensations are there, isn't it? So what makes you understand is the brain, which has the memory, which has a recognition, which has a information to tell you that this is painful, this is joyful. Along with that recognition, there is a choice which all the time comes. Whether you want it, you like it, you don't like it. So this also, but then it should not turn into a desire to deal with it. The understanding of acceptance, which I am sharing every time, is to accept the way it is naturally happening. This understanding will make you stay there with whether it is painful, whether it is joyful. Then further search for the answer, further search for the solution. In the beginning, it will also happen naturally, but afterwards, when you start practicing this understanding of acceptance, this will not happen. You will not go for this whole area of finding out the solution. Stay there. Staying there with that sensation that is now happening, maybe joyful, maybe painful, just stay there. And that staying there, which I call acceptance with the understanding. Because it is naturally happening. The outside event is creating some vibration. It is expression of energy there. And energy means vibration. And vibration creates a sensation because it activates the senses. So if it is strong vibration, it will create a strong sensation. So anything which vibrates strongly will generate the heat, isn't it? So when it is vibrating strongly, it generates the heat, and heat is always painful. So any event which is creating a strong vibration outside will create a strong sensation inside. And that strong sensation will create a heat inside, and that heat is painful. In Gita, Krishna says very beautifully, Matra sparshastu kaunteya sitoshana sukha dukkhada agama paino anityaha tam stitikshasva bharata. In second chapter of Gita, Krishna says to Arjuna, Matra sparsha, that is, Matra means the senses, and sparsha means the sensation. The sensation happening on the senses. He says, Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshana sukha dukkhada. The sensations are of two kinds, the cool and the hot. Shita means cool and Ushna means hot. And when there is a Ushna means the hot sensation, it is dukkha, it is giving you pain. And if it is Shita means the soft or the cool, it gives you joy, sukha, it gives you joy. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhada. He further says that agama paino anityaha. That means the nature of this sensation is it comes and goes. It is never permanent. It is never permanent. So understand here, Arjuna, and accept it. Titiksha means bear it. Don't fight with it or don't run away from it and don't do anything to it. It is naturally happening. It's naturally happening. Understand this, that it is naturally happening. And there we have not understood that it is naturally happening, and you have misunderstood that you have a freedom to change it. This misunderstanding that we have a freedom to change it puts you into some action where either you are trying to fight with the painful sensation, or possess the joyful sensation, or fight with the situation which is creating this painful situation. Krishna says, just stay with it, bear it. Taum stitikshasva bharata. Just bear it. And bearing only can possible when you understand it, that it is natural. This is natural. All these outside actions are going to create a reaction that is natural. And reactions may be painful, reactions may be joyful. This is natural. But we have misunderstood that it cannot be. I have a freedom to change it. How can it be? If it is painful, I have a freedom to change and make it joyful, or to escape from it, to fight with it. This judgment which comes from that misunderstanding area, somewhere you have been told, and it is also recorded into your knowledge, that you have freedom to fight with it. And this is where the whole religious and spiritual business goes on. You have been told that you fight with your mind, you fight with the inner reactions, you fight with the outside situations. The people who fight with the outside situations becomes materially fighters. They fight with the outside world, they become materially. And the people who fight inside with the inside sensations, they are become spiritual. Both are same, both are ignorant. But you have a spiritual ignorance, that person has a material ignorance. But there is a possibility of change. But that change is not your freedom. It is the way life decides. It is the way life decides. And we have been told from the childhood that you are responsible for every action that you do. You have to decide, you have the freedom to do it, you have the freedom to change. And this puts us into the repetition of the same mistake again and again and again. And we are not learning from the mistake. We are not learning from the mistake that there is something where we have not understood the whole process of life. That how this life functions, how this life moves, we have not understood. And we have separated ourselves from this whole momentum of life and thought that I am the owner of my destiny. I am the person who can decide about everything. You are nobody here. It's all happening. It's all a part of happening. And this is very difficult for the mind to accept. And still I tell you that you are going to grow. You are going to become somebody. You are going to get something and you are going to reach somewhere. But not the way your mind decides, the way the life decides. But this decision of life, where it wants you to flow, which I call the path of destiny, we never accept. We want to create our own destiny. I want to get enlightened. I want. This want is the mind's game. Look at to the needs of life. What life demands. Understand it. Understand it. And when you understand something what life demands, whether it is painful or joyful, your understanding will make you somewhere, give you some understanding and learning also. And when you learn something, what you learn somewhere the way life moves, the nature of life. You learn something. And what you learn that life is all the time changing and moving. With your own experiences, you learn from the events of your life that it is never same. It is all the time changing and moving. It is not stagnant. You also learn that life is insecure, life is uncertain, life is unknown. From your own experience to that, from your own awareness and availability to that, you learn that. When you learn really from the experiences, then you will not demand security from the life, which mind demands. We all demand security from the life, and where the nature of life is insecure. You are exactly demanding opposite to the nature of life. You are demanding certainty. You are demanding known future, that I want to just understand first and then put my step further. Life demands that trust me, and as I say, just go ahead. Life demands your trust. We don't have trust in the life. Because we have been from the childhood taught that don't trust life. It is dangerous. Don't be natural. It is dangerous. We are living exactly opposite the way life demands you to live. And then we suffer. Either we have a spiritual suffering or the worldly suffering. But the suffering is same. At least for the worldly suffering, there is somewhere that you can reach to material gains. If you want to make some millions, you can, because it is really there. But if you want to get enlightened, whole life you suffer. And you can go into some imaginary, illusory state of mind where you start believing that you got it. But this is all game. But inside, if someone is honest, which I expect from all the gurus to be honest, if you're really honest, they know that there is nothing there. But they want to cheat themselves and they want to cheat the other people. This is all game. It's a business. If you really understand through the learning, this learning will relax you. Will relax you. Because now you are not fighting with life. You are not trying to change it. But you are trying to understand what exactly life demands. Exactly what life demands, and you respond according to your understanding from understanding now, the way it is happening. Then you are so much into the harmony with life. This harmony inside is the happiness. Is the happiness. Wherever you are not in harmony with life, there is a state of unhappiness. Wherever you are not in harmony with life, there is a state of tension. Life wants you to move this side and you are holding it this side. And there is a tension. So constantly we have tension with life. Constantly we have unhappiness state with life. And then we search for the happiness. We search for the freedom from tension, freedom from suffering. How can you be free? We try to reject the worldly life and take a sannyas life. This is not freedom. It is the same mind that you carry. The real freedom means which comes through your understanding. And that freedom is not from something, but that freedom is from that ignorance, identification, and the attachment which has happened because of the ignorance. See? We are all holding this pillar. The moment you understand, you live it. You understand something, then the pillar is there, you are there, but still there is a freedom. This understanding will come only when you understand to stay at the first step. When you stay at the first step by accepting the way it is happening, not in a very passive way, but through your understanding that this is the way it is happening outside naturally, and this is the way the reaction inside is happening naturally. So you don't hate the mind. You don't try to do something to the mind. You don't try to make any effort to be free from the mind, but you are aware that there is a mind which is a state of reaction inside me, and that reaction is natural. Understand that it is natural, and in this understanding, just stay with it. When you stay with it, this staying which I call acceptance. Acceptance word makes a lot of misunderstanding. That's why I have to again make it more and more clear that staying with the understanding is indirectly a state of acceptance. Staying means what? Staying means not jumping to any action out of any of the decisions or judgments or answers coming from the mind. Stay there. That staying will create a detachment, which I was telling. Automatically, the consciousness which was first identified with this whole area of knowledge liberates itself naturally and becomes free. When it becomes free, you will understand immediately that before you were anger and now you are aware of anger. The difference. When the reaction of anger comes, you become anger, absolutely anger. The moment you accept and stay with the anger, without expressing the anger, immediately the consciousness gets detached from the reaction there and starts witnessing that reaction. Then you are aware that there is an anger. The difference is this. So this is a detachment. Before you were angry, and from the identification with the anger, you were expressing the anger unconsciously. If you do not stay there, immediately you express the anger. So when you express the anger, you are unconscious. You are so much identified with the anger that you become anger totally. And when you really express anger and some reactions comes or a fight happens, and then you repent afterwards that I would not have said this, I should not have done this, then where were you, sir? When you really was fighting and expressing anger, where were you? That means you were not there. That means you were not conscious. This acceptance or state of staying will create automatically detachment from inside. And that detachment, you will feel as if you are in the witnessing state. You are aware that there is an anger inside. You are aware that somebody is abusing outside. And you are just aware. You are that state of awareness. It is not that you are going to be aware of the awareness. This is again a new game that we play, that we want to be aware of the awareness. I want to be conscious of the consciousness. It's a good game. I want to realize myself. Then do you have another self to realize this self? It is not possible. But you are conscious, you are aware of something which you were before identified. Before you were one with it. This detachment happens. When this detachment happens, the consciousness now is available to understand the outside event and understand the sensation that is happening now. Because it brings you now. It brings you now. In that state of now, something comes as a command. Whether to say yes or not to say yes. Whether yes or no. When this command comes, whether to respond or not to respond. Whether to deal with the situation or not to deal with the situation. And this yes and no, then again follows by a functionary mind where you go back to the knowledge to get the information, what it means by yes and what it means by no. It also naturally happens. But before, it has to get detached. I hope I make it clear. This whole phenomena, your understanding makes it happen. In the beginning, you have to remember again and again to stay there. That may be a part of your practice, that may be a part of your, what you call, tapasya, whatever you call it. But that is dealing with you. It is not somewhere you go to a meditation camp and learn there or do with yourself. Not sitting in silence somewhere and just trying to find something.
This question has no relevance with today's time, but everybody says the thing. The question is very nice. You gave the answer. 16 hours of the day, everybody is trying to be conscious, unconscious. Can we use sleep for today's time? Because I am working on this. Students are earning $300-400 working in the night. They have a stress, pathological, neurological or psychological. how can I do something? Just give me 1, 2 insights. Today is a very beautiful day. It only comes after 4 years, leap year. But give me a leap year answer. This witnessing is not working. Children's, youngsters are not even interested in this. And I don't know how I can be of a part of this big young revolution, which is almost 50% of the Indian population. How can we use sleep for without being conscious, without being aware? And it is an 8 hour of our life.
You mean to say that how they can remain fresh with
Yes.
keeping them awake whole night and next day they sleep?
No. How
Then-
can sleep be used for a regeneration?
It is not a question that how can sleep be used. It is a question how you use your awakening time. If you are sleeping at the time of awakening, then it is the same.
Yeah, no.
I am saying that at least remain wake up when you are awake.
This is not question of spiritual awakening. I am asking.
I am not answering you spiritually thing. This is very practical and very material. The one who wants really a real sleep, not the physical sleep, the inner sleep, should also remain real awake in the daytime. When the consciousness remains awake, it has to be really awake. That means what I was describing up to now was to be available to now. Each moment wakes you up. Are you available to it? You are responding to the moment with the sleep there. The sleeping is the whole area of past and knowledge that we are all the time into that sleep. What we are sleeping at night is a physical sleep. Still the mind is awake. And that is why the mind goes into such a stress that it does not get that freedom. It is not the mind which goes into stress, but the consciousness all the time feels somewhere something is missing. That home is missing. Consciousness wants to come back to its own home. And this is what everybody has a real pain inside. Real pain is not with the mind. It is pain with the consciousness that what we are. It has lost its home. Come back home. This, if you learn, then even while you sleep, when the body is sleeping, you slowly, first the mind and the consciousness is with one because there is a thinking process going on, and suddenly because you have the habit of accepting the way it is happening, you are not trying to change your thoughts or trying to change something or not trying to bring the sleep, but you are just flowing with it the way, because all the outside activities is cut off when you sleep. Still the brain activity is still going on because some sensation is still happening through your touch of the bed, through your breathing. Some sensation is constantly happening, and that sensation is going to activate the brain. So the frame of the thoughts, which is first in the daytime was very quick and fast, becomes very slow at night. So this moment which is naturally happening, if you accept it, just lie down and don't try to sleep or don't try to stop this thinking. Sometimes during the daytime when the strong thought process is activated, the frequency which is created during the daytime may take some time to slow down. So sometimes when you go to sleep, your brain is very fast. So many thoughts are coming. Whole day something is activated. So this has to be accepted. If you learn how to accept the day, the way it is happening, without trying to change it, without trying to fight with it, without trying to silence it, then slowly you will find that you will not know when you go into the deep sleep. What is that deep sleep? Is the detachment of the consciousness from that frame of thought. What is the dream? The consciousness still remains attached to the frame of thought, and this frame of thought, when it is not particularly demanded for a particular information, it abruptly starts moving the frames like a Hindi movie and creates a nice movie, and that is what you call dream. It's all mixture of all different kinds of frames which are coming abruptly without any particular demand from any particular event outside. It creates a beautiful picture. A beautiful picture is a dream. So dreaming whole night is because somewhere you begin to fight with it. You begin to change the moment of thought which is happening. If this young generation learns how to just flow with it, how to accept it, then even when they are supposed to work at night, it will create little physical stress, but then the body understands its own way how to get the relaxation. During the daytime, it will take the rest. But the mind, which is not getting that much of slow momentum, even the night time also, if the same work is going on and the mind is all the time functioning, and the daytime also it is the same, and the energy in the daytime is different than the night time, because the outside energy at night also is low, the daytime because of the heat it is high. So it is not also happening to cool down the mind. So they are suffering because of this. If they understand something of this whole secret, that daytime, if you really they understand, then the daytime, if they understand how to cool down these frames of thought, then the night time also it's very simple. Then everything will be adjusted accordingly. The body has its own understanding, and the consciousness also has its own understanding how to adjust itself. Because of the no clarity, no understanding, we are trying to do something to it. Then they take certain pills and drugs, and they just taking a sleeping pill and try to chemically or mechanically go into sleep. But that does not give that relaxation which we all demand for.
Can we change in the evolutionary process, biological clock can be changed, or is it necessary only to sleep?
It can be changed through habit. Biologically, you can change it, you see.
But
Usefully means?
for the purpose of what is desired.
It is not natural.
It is
But
not
still,
natural.
if the life demands or the situation demands to change it, the body understands how to adjust to it. How to adjust to it. In the beginning, maybe it is little, because it has old habit, the habit has to change. But the body has its own understanding, you see. Like when the winter goes away, the summer starts, the body has its understanding how to accommodate to the heat outside, you see. And then accordingly it gives you the commands and impulses inside how to deal with it, you see. So this understanding is coming from accepting the way the situation is changing outside and inside.
It's possible.
It is possible. It is possible. The same question was asked when I was in Israel, because they are passing through a lot of stress. Lot of stress.
Here it is only
So people go to this whole camp, stress management. Stress management. Wow, they pay thousands of dollars for learning how to manage the stress. And they come out with more stress. Because the additional stress is losing that $1,000.
But that is real life situation. Now bullets are flying left and right, so naturally they have stress.
Yeah, and especially in the people who are in the military,
You too.
because they have to go a compulsory 2 years military service there. Everybody has to go after the school is over. All boys and girls, both they go to the military training.
Remember, this is a political situation or military, I don't know. But the youth, 2 years, is taken away by the army or by the computers now. Computers are very powerful business. And after 2 years, they become totally drug addicts or they become nervous.
This is a reaction, kind of reaction when they do not find the answer. They try to find out some answer which can mechanically or chemically or artificially create a space where they feel little relaxed. You see. And if they are good people, then they try to do meditations. It is the same. Either you take a drug or you go to the meditation. To me, it's the same. But this is a safe drug. Meditation is a safe drug. But it brings the same chemical change inside.
Any other way except escaping through drugs or through hardcore like dynamic or kundalini or even meditation? Because relaxation is not possible.
It is not possible unless tasya beshajam nasti. This has been said in Upanishads. That there is no remedy for any psychological disease. Any mind's disease, there is no remedy. What is your understanding is the remedy. And understanding is not the knowledge, but the knowing. Your own knowing, which comes when you are in connection with the experience, with the life. Otherwise, no. What liberates you is your own knowing. Nobody's knowledge will liberate you. Understand this. Reading books, or listening to the lectures, or collecting all informations and making yourself a scholar will not liberate you. You are going to be the same again and again. But nobody accepts honestly. They carry a face that they understand something, but they don't understand anything. The radical change which has to happen, a transformation that has to happen, happens only through the understanding. And that understanding has to be yours, not somebody's. Everybody has to find their own answer. Nobody's answer is your answer. And how will you find your own answer unless you understand the question or the problem by yourself? But we are going and referring to the books, what is the answer? Going to the master asking, what should I do? All the time following, all the time becoming a slave of somebody's answers. And life has given you that capacity to understand. Why don't you understand and get your own answer? But we don't want, because we don't have trust.
Just now you gave 2 slokas from the Sanskrit, Gita and all. And on the internet, now there is one new that cryon.com is coming, and the new age information giving is what we do on Dasera, we puja all instruments and weapons. Similarly, when we go to the business in the morning, we touch the ground. These all old traditions are now scientifically being proven for relaxation in your own job. And that also includes artificial intelligence. Can you speak about it? Because
See, all that has been asked to follow as a tradition in our religious way. Every religion has certain tradition which we accept as a belief. Whatever is spoken by all the enlightened masters, they have spoken the truth because they had their own understanding of certain things. But because the people could not understand, they were asked to believe and follow the instructions given by the masters. So when you follow the instructions given by the masters without understanding and follow as a belief, it becomes a tradition. So each religion has a tradition. But that tradition has somewhere at the base somebody's understanding. Somebody's understanding. So even if you do not have the understanding, if you do it, the effect is going to be there. If you do not know what it contains in the tablet, but even if you take the tablet, the effect is going to be there. Does not mean that you have to open the books and read everything what contains into this tablet. That all the medical book that you have to open, that which this tablet contains what. Even if you take the tablet with a total trust, then it will definitely give you the effect. So at certain point, they did not find that each one can understand what they understood and express as a truth. So the ordinary people were asked to believe and follow that instruction, and they were following with the trust onto the master, and that was the tradition. So if you really want to understand what exactly is the truth behind, then you have to reach to that level of understanding where these masters were. Otherwise, it is not possible. Like if somebody who has the eyes to see and starts giving the instructions to the blind people how to walk, you have to follow the instructions, and that instructions, when you follow, it becomes a tradition. But that person who is saying this, all the instructions, speaking the truth, is speaking from his own clarity, from his own eyes. So what exactly is what he is seeing? How can you know unless you open your eyes and see by yourself? And that is why I always say that it's better to follow the tradition. But if you really want to grow, because in that following you don't grow, but if you really want to grow, challenge, question each of the belief, and then you will understand, and that understanding will take you up and up to that level where these people were looking from. So we have to take a different route. So if you become or remain a believer, whole life you are a believer. So you can remain into a very comfortable life without disturbing the society, because there are so many things which creates a disturbance. Suppose there is a society of a blind people and there is one person who has the eyes. He will give certain instructions so that the blind people do not bang on each other, do not fall into the ditch. So he gives an instruction where this society of blind people can live into harmony. So this society of these believers, which we call the religious people, they live into harmony, but they are not growing. They are not growing. And out of these few blind people, somebody who wants to understand, who wants to actually know what exactly is spoken by these enlightened masters, then he should question it. And then when he starts questioning, the answer comes to that point where he has to deal with his own eyes. You see, why should I follow him? Why should I follow that he says that go from this path, do not go from that path because there is a ditch? Why should I? You see, there are people who are rebellious, they reject it. So the believers and non-believers are the same. But we have to find out, why should I believe? Not by rejecting belief, but by understanding belief. And when you understand, you have to question it. And when you start questioning, the point comes where you will understand that I have to follow someone because I don't see by myself. I have to follow somebody's understanding because I don't have my understanding. And that's why I have to believe. So how to get to my understanding? And this is what I am trying to bring it. I am trying to treat your eyes. I am not trying to give you some instructions where you can find the light or can be fighting with the darkness or with your blindness. I am not suggesting this, that how will you find the light? And I am not suggesting that how will you be free from the darkness. I am trying to suggest you that where you will start opening your eyes, your treatment of eyes. How will you come to the understanding? That is the very important question. How will you understand by yourself? And that understanding which we were sharing before comes through that first understanding which comes as a knowledge. And when you practice this knowledge of acceptance, it turns into knowing of acceptance, and that knowing will give you your own understanding. That will open your own eyes. And once you have your own eyes, you will not need a stick to walk with. You will not need somebody's hand to hold. You will see by yourself. You will not ask anyone that please tell me how to walk. You will not ask anyone that please tell me how to live, how to get to my problems, how to solve my problems. You will not ask. You will have your own clarity. The moment you are having your clarity, all the belief system has no value at all. Then I will behave such a way that I will not create a disturbance in my life and to the other's life. But so far as I am a blind person, I create a disturbance inside me, and I am also creating the disturbance to the other person also. And we blame the other person that, can't you see it? The blind person, if they bang to each other, what they say? Don't you see that you both are blind? And this is happening.
Now, can you go into one ritual? I'm not asking it from the traditional ritual point of view, but any activity, just like touching the feet of the business mother, father, anything can we go into it so that today one doesn't have to work hard to get
I would not give you the answer. I would tell you that why don't you just question it? Why should I touch the feet of master or mother or father or the place where I am working, why should I touch it? You see.
I'm coming to a close understanding.
So when we want to understand, we should inquire together. Krishnamurti.
Yes, same. Same.
Together.
So it is not that I am answering your question. Let us inquire together,
Yes.
step by step.
I agree, Baba, when touching the feet of a master is because lot of energy is transmitted through the feet.
Now, what do you understand by energy? Do you? Is it still? It is the answer given by someone else. Do you really feel the energy?
Oh yes. If I don't feel, I will not go down to any.
But the people who go down do not feel the energy. They just bow down because it is a tradition.
Their problem, not my problem. I am coming to.
If you really understand that there is an energy phenomena
Ji.
which is behind this whole tradition,
Ah.
then understand the energy phenomena. Now, what is this energy phenomena? Let's inquire.
The energy phenomena is, let us assume positive and negative.
Right,
Huh?
right.
When you come out from certain space and you are in the presence of a being, you start getting positive energy. And you
What is
feel
that positive energy?
a kind of fulfillment, a kind of grace.
How do you come to the fulfillment?
And a sense of natural relaxation.
How does the relaxation come?
How does the relaxation come? Because of synchronicity. with-
Harmony. So how does this harmony come? Unless you are in tune with it.
But suppose somebody.
If you are not in tune with it, then there is no harmony.
Yes.
So what is that it which is demanding tuning?
What is tuning?
See. So step by step when we inquire, there is a last point where we come that somewhere when we are in harmony, there is a positive energy. And then when we are not in harmony, we are having a negative energy. Negative energy means energy created through the non-acceptance, and the positive energy is energy created through the acceptance. Isn't it? So whenever you are into state of acceptance, you are flowing with positive energy. And when you are not in the state of acceptance, you are flowing with a negative energy. Isn't it?
This is the broader
Right.
picture.
So now we come back to a question, why should we touch the feet? Or why should we bow down? See. So what is the phenomena into the body? Why particularly touching the feet or embracing or touching the hand, what is that phenomena where there is some understanding?
Okay, that thing you said, Sheetal and Bushra,
Huh. Sensation.
sensation. Now let us go into the sensation. When you meet somebody, you meet your near and dear, you are ready to be harmonized, synchronized. The heat transference takes place.
Not heat, energy transference.
Energy transfer. No, I was more precise.
The heat is just a sensation.
Okay.
So if that person is somewhere having a negative energy, definitely you start feeling the heat.
That's right. Now let us go back to a computer where there is an artificial intelligence. It is also giving a heat transference. And you are supposed to work in the day or night. Okay? How can we match this intelligence? Energy phenomena is. There is a
Except
trick.
you remain into the state of acceptance with whatever the changes which is creating either artificially or naturally.
Okay.
You remain into the acceptance.
Okay.
The way it is happening, you remain in harmony. The whole master key is your inside state, not the outside thing.
Let's work on it.
Your inside state
Yeah, agreed.
which connects to the outside.
Okay.
When you are not in acceptance with the outside, when you sit in front of the computer thinking that this is a boredom, this is a burden, this is just work which I don't like, and you just sit in front of the computer gives you that energy, same energy, but it is now accepted by the negative energy. See? So it is creating a strong reflection or reaction there.
There is one gap in between. Remember, somebody is working on computer either for money or for pleasure. है ना? So there is heat and there is a. You mean to say that if I totally accept the computer.
I am not asking what purpose you are sitting with the computer. I am saying that what is your inner state when you sit with the computer, or when you sit with your wife, or when you sit with your friend, wherever you sit, what is your inner state?
Agreed. It is a little hot, little cold. But
No, it is not hot or cold. It is somewhere into the acceptance or non-acceptance. Hot and cold is a natural reaction happening as a sensation to the senses.
Consequence.
When I am sitting in front of
So even if it is hot, which is creating a hot sensation, if you accept it, it does not create a reaction.
Kiran Baba, this mobile also has that same sensation when you receive.
No, it is not a sensation. It is sensation which you get on your senses. Vibration is there.
Yes.
Vibration is there.
There is all artificial things are heat transferring. They really are very DOR, deadly or origami radiation. Even television. I am coming very close with what you are saying. Understanding is there, acceptance is there, harmony is there. Can we overtake this?
What you want to overtake?
Can you suddenly become cool down? That's very hard. Because it will not give.
You will be cooling down with an awareness there is a heat there.
Acha. So it is possible.
So you will not be cooling down the heat,
No.
but you will be cooling down a chain of reaction which is going to reject the heat, and you generate another heat which is psychological heat, which is more painful than the real heat. You will be cooling down there.
No struggle.
Kiran Baba,
What is making us more difficult and more miserable is the psychological state inside, not the real reactionary state.
I know.
See, if somebody is abusing you, there is a natural anger, which is a hot sensation. Really. So this rejection of that, what is happening inside, creates another anger on the anger. So it creates another psychological heat, which is not actually the real heat, but a reaction of the reaction. There is a natural reaction, but you create an illusory reaction by non-accepting it. That illusory reaction gives you more pain than the real pain. And when the real pain goes away, you stay with that psychological pain which continuously makes you miserable.
Okay. Kiran Baba, the Chandra Nadi and the
Oh God, please. Don't jump from here to there. This is different subject.
How is
It will take another 1 hour to describe all the nadis, you know.
No, only two. Kiran Baba, only
This is
two.
a different
Only
subject.
two. Only two. The moon and the sun. Can we use that for at least physically?
Automatically the nadi changes. The moment you are
Acha.
inner state changes, the nadi changes.
Fine. Thank you. I got it.
Immediately.
Samjh.
You have not to change the nadi, but you have to understand, and the understanding will change your inner state, and the inner state will change the nadi.
It's so fast.
Yes, try. See, what is happening is we are trying to bring, which is something as an effect, thinking that we can bring through our own effort.
Okay.
This is a natural effect of something which has happened, and we have not understood what has happened, and thinking that we have freedom to change the effect. Effect is based on something which has happened. So how can you change the effect unless you change the happening? You understand what I am saying? We are trying to change the effect from this nadi to that nadi, from this to that, which is an effect, which is a result of something which has happened. How can you change the result unless you change the cause of it? You understand what I am saying? And we are not understanding the cause of it. And we are trying to change the effect. And that's why we are trying to find out some painkillers, some tranquilizers, some temporary relief, which puts you into some mental state or hypnotic state where you think that you are successful in changing it. It is not changing. Your groups, your therapies, your meditation techniques, which is nothing but a psychological, hypnotic tricks, which brings a change, which looks like a change, but it is not a real change.
Kiran Baba, I will speak, I will ask more, inquire more. I am not interested in spiritual masturbation or intellectual masturbation. I want practical things. See, Kiran Baba, today we are under such a vulnerable attack from outside.
I am not talking about what happens to the
No,
world.
no,
I am
it
talking about
happens.
you and me and everyone individually.
It happens, Kiran
See.
Baba. Kiran Baba, it happens. We are saying, you are saying, oh, don't worry about the outside, change your inside.
Now I am not saying change your inside.
Or accept your inside.
That is change happens by itself.
But Kiran Baba, what a conspiratory world we are in. I want to do something and somebody else.
Don't
is
try to
doing
change the
this.
world. Just understand and the change will happen within you.
Kiran Baba, let's work on it. Everybody is trying to do it, but it is very difficult. Today the...
So why don't you understand it's difficult, it's not possible? Then drop doing.
Yes. Drop doing means sit under the tree, become a beggar.
Not necessarily.
Oh, let existence decide.
So
Accept.
unless you don't worry about the world, you have nothing to do.
Worry about the... I am not bothered about the world. I am bothered about myself.
That's what I'm saying.
But wait a minute, if existence decide for me to become a beggar, I don't accept, I reject. This is my own choice. I know there is no choice, but let me try now.
But why don't you just go with this whole idea where existence is not deciding to make you a beggar?
Yes.
Enjoy your begging.
Why do you worry about it? So when that situation comes, we will talk about it.
Okay.
Everybody give 1 rupee, yeah?
We go into the imaginary problems that if that happens,
No.
when it is not happened, why do you bother?
Okay, last. 20 years before, it doesn't affect us. But see the conspiratory mind. 20 years ago, CIA had busted the Russian pipeline. The biggest fire created, that was a conspiracy. And today we come to know, but these people knew it 20 years ago, that they are going to destroy. How does it affect us? It doesn't affect me personally, but it affects the environment. So somewhere one has to start.
But that may be what life wanted.